Ladies, as you call some niggas ugly, please remember, you're the one that uses makeup. So that, shut your mouth.
I just wanted to say...
You're listening to
Your fan favorite section on Break Time on Westside. Welcome to Break Time on Westside, your number one break time podcast, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. The man on the mic is Sir Denver B, and this is your Friday edition of a podcast, aka the favorite section, aka one of the ones that wasn't retrenched because people apparently still like this shit type of podcast episode. I think it's about time we get into some of these questions. So as usual, I reach out to Instagram, I reach out to Twitter and ask people to, bring in whatever questions they would like me to discuss. And you give it to me, I discuss it. That's essentially what this episode is for. It's just for the fans. So I'm going to start with one that wasn't directly targeted to me, but kind of was. So when should you move in with your significant other, with your partner in a relationship? Like, at what point in the relationship should you move in? The way I looked at this question, it's pretty easy. When you're married. I don't even think I need to sugarcoat that in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. It's when you're married. Because let's be honest, shorties done had this thing of going to a nigga's place, staying with a nigga. They have issues with a nigga. They start breaking things in the house. Now, all of those things carry a cost, which will be funded by the nigga. Even when stuff is broken, he's the one who will still go and buy that shit again. Because apparently the power of love transcends having to pay those bills. At least in most cases I've heard. So find that a nigga staying with his shorty. Like, I'm not going to say that it's a bad thing, but it leaves room for a lot of shit to happen. Because fine, yes, it's going to be nice and lovely and y'all can get to cuddle with each other every single night. Y'all get to be sweet. Y'all get to have more moments together. The chances of him smashing another woman or you smashing another guy, if you're a woman or a man, I don't care, they drastically decrease. It seems like it's a lot better. But think about it this way. The minute y'all move in together, it becomes a question of who's handling the bills. And I'm going to have to mention that because let's be honest, this is 2019. It's the 21st fucking century. Feminists done come and asked for rights. There's women's rights. Y'all have, by law, more power than men. And since you guys want to be put on the same equal ground as men, y'all need to be put on the same equal ground of paying bills as men. So who will pay the bills? How will they be handled? Not unless if the nigga decides, I'll pay all the bills. Of which, I'm not going to say that it doesn't seem that good. But, if one of y'all is earning a bit more than the other, if one of y'all is actually making good money and the other isn't, please don't mind doing it. I'm sure stuff might pay out soon in the future, I think. All in all, you think about it. You start handling the bills and shit. It's one issue. The other issue with it is the kind of personal space you have. Because as a guy, there's that personal space you have. Like, there's that man cave type of space you'd want to have. And a homie's place when guys are gaming. Like, I have a lot of friends who are gamers. I have a lot of friends that kind of like the whole man cave type of lifestyle, where they have a personalized space that people don't get to bother them in. And these guys tend to live pretty well. So when they get someone in there in the name of, like a girlfriend or probably a roommate, it becomes this issue of, now I don't have as much time to myself. I can do stuff by myself. Because it's not like you're going to tell the shorty, yo, I need you to get the fuck out for like 3 hours. I'm having the boys over. You're going to have the boys over. And even though your boys aren't comfortable with your shorty, you're still going to want them over. And then now it's going to become an issue between your boys and your shorty, and it's going to become an issue. You'll get the point there. So when you think about it, is it a very good option? No. Also for shorties, is it a very good option? No. If your man isn't as hygienic as you might think, then it'll start being exposed there. If there's some shit that probably was going wrong in your relationship, it might be exposed there. If your man was cheating on you, that side bitch might actually choose to come through to his house at one point. So at least it helps root it out. But let's think about it. Y'all also lose your space, and us niggas like to complain about a lot of things. And then for some of us, because we're Africans, we'll expect you to do the cooking and the cleaning. But, I'm not going to point fingers, but you all know yourselves. So, in short, should you actually stay with your significant? No. If y'all want to stay together, have periods when you're sleeping over at your boyfriend's place or your girlfriend's place. That's pretty much okay. Spend a weekend together. Have a bunch of days. Like, pick one week when you're like at Bay's place and another week when she's at your place. And have like breaks. Like, do that whole break thing, weekend thing type shit together. Because in reality, that's the shit that kind of makes stuff better. If y'all want your hump time, you'll get your hump time there. If y'all want that whole closeness, you'll get it there. Because let's be honest, I don't think people need to cuddle each and every single fucking day. That's the shit that we just ain't into. I don't think we need to cuddle every single day. We need it on a lot of days, but not every single day. And I'm sure at this point, you all just get the point. Stay on your own, wait until you're married, go start living together. Whatever flaws you think you can root out before you all get married, if you are going to get married, I don't think it would have even survived for very long. But, maybe you'll save yourself the cost of marriage if you find some of those flaws. But anyways, on to the next big one. Can we discuss polygamy? Okay. Interesting. Okay, so essentially the question is on polygamy because I got a video recently from a friend and this was something that was kind of aired out by another one of my friends. They were kind of asking about the whole polygamy thing still happening today. And funny enough, it's not just in Africa. People think polygamy is just in Africa or in some bits of Asia, especially the Arab sides, aka Middle East, that polygamy resides. But polygamy is even in the US. Alicia Keys, Swiss Beats, they got that co-wife shit down. So if Swiss Beats was to get a side chick, I honestly think that now it wouldn't really be a side chick as much as it would probably be like an add to the playlist type of situation. Because, the way I see it, with polygamy, I think the whole realm of cheating kind of starts to water down. And when you look at it, before you get like a second wife or a second girlfriend, if it's in a polygamous situation, your first wife or girlfriend will kind of have to approve it. And the way I see it, both of y'all get a husband, both of y'all get good dick if he has it, both of y'all get money if he has it, and at the end of it, both of y'all still remain satisfied. Y'all don't have to fight over a nigga. Plus, you're less insecure when you think about it. So, would I say that polygamy is a bad thing? No. Would I say it's a really good thing? Probably not. Because I'm someone who's all up for, do unto others as you'd like them to do unto you. Imagine if your wife or shorty had like a second boyfriend or husband. Most guys wouldn't exactly like side with that whole story happening. Because when you think about it, us niggas, it's not like we like to share pussy. Like, it's not like you're going to allow me to hit the same nunu you've been hitting unless you all don't give two shits about this shorty. And this is like just something that you know for a fact as a man. You're not going to let your homies hit your girlfriend or wife. Not unless if you guys are like swingers. Because, swingers are, I think, the middle ground that makes stuff interesting. Because they're into this whole thing of orgies, of, switching partners, which is interesting, but kind of makes it hard to actually prove that someone is cheating on you. So, to be very honest, I think I'll have to discuss swingers at a later date, though. They're kind of an interesting breed of human beings. It's like an open relationship, but like with an interesting twist to it. But anyways, so if you kind of look at the origin of where polygamy came from, it's not actually that far off. For us Christians, because I am one, if you kind of date back during Bible times, I think the first instance of polygamy came through when Jacob was trying to get himself Rachel, and he got duped and he got Leah. At that point, this nigga had to work a total of, let's be very honest, 14 fucking years to get one shorty. One shorty. And the worst bit about it, they didn't even stay that long. Like, that story sounds like it would have been Shakespearean. The only thing is, Romeo and Juliet only lasted 6 days and people were killed in the story. But, that's, I think, the earliest instance. But, when you look at Muslims, they kind of did the whole, you can get up to 4 wives thing because, they are trying to make sure at least every woman has a husband. Will they change it if there's way more men than women? That remains to be discussed, but I doubt it because there's men that are running the show, and we niggas do not like it when women are with other niggas. Specifically our women that are supposed to be our girlfriends or wives. Hell, for some of us, we believe that the only niggas that you should ever really be talking to are your brother, your father, and Jesus. So when you think about it, that's how it works. For monogamy, I won't lie, as much as is something that seems like it came from the West, something that came post, like African traditional times, stuff with Christianity and all, it's existed pretty well. It's given us a lot of our families today. Although at the same time, it's also given the rise to deadbeats and very insecure women. I'm not going to lie. Also insecure men. Let's be honest. Because, well, as much as there's monogamy, polygamy, there's also polyandry and polygyny. So that kind of still gives a bit of context. But the way I see it, monogamy existed to kind of balance it. It existed to fulfill the whole idea of love, being together and, coming together to be one. Except when the child support payments and the divorce papers come out. Then, that whole one thing doesn't work out. Yeah, if you have 6 cars, nigga, you're losing 3. If you have 2 houses, you're losing 1. Your salary might just get split in half and all. And apparently it's all for the kids. But, these shorties, it's not like they spend that money on the kids. Just saying. But when you think about it, monogamy has given rise to more insecure people. It's given more rise to deadbeat daddies. It's given more rise to cheating. Polygamy had very few instances of cheating because how exactly are you going to cheat when you have variety? I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but how exactly will you cheat if you have variety? When you have 6 wives, because I know there's a nigga in the US of fucking A that actually has like 6 women with a bunch of kids, all of them, his. And it's not like he's going to say, I'm going to cheat on all of them with one. Like, if you're tired of one vagina, just bounce around. Just go get the next one. But that, I think, kind of satisfies a level of desire that monogamy kind of doesn't. But at the same time, if all those women decide to gang up on you, nigga, you is dead. I do not care how strong, how skilled you are dead. They will kill you. They will finish you. But the way I see it, I'm more of a monogamous person. If someone told me, go get married and get a second wife after, you've married your first one, it's going to seem a bit hard. Because I like to be fair. I wouldn't want my woman getting another nigga. Just saying. But it does kind of give this whole idea of toxic insecurity. Because there's a bit of insecurity that's okay. Being jealous has been considered, being jealous in a relationship at least, has been considered to be like a good thing for some. But I tend to think that it's a bit of a bad thing as well. Because when a shorty is so jealous that they want to screw over someone else because they think that they might be having a thing with their man, it doesn't seem that nice. That's where you find that it gets kind of toxic. If you have someone who's very insecure, they tend to be very jealous. When they're very jealous, they tend to be very, very emotional and like not good emotional, like bad emotional, like want to stab you emotional. And it makes it pretty hard. And here's the thing. As much as I'm just a nigga right now talking about it, some shorties are actually into polygamy and they're not as insecure. And they seem to be way happier. Like I said earlier, Alicia Keys, Swizz Beatz, and the other woman that they're with. There's niggas like Blueface who have 2 girlfriends living in the same house. And they're still functioning fine. There was that nigga that I mentioned to you. I forgot his name, but he exists. 6 women, all with kids, all his women. And they're all pretty happy. So who says that polygamous marriages can't work? The way I see it, it probably can. It's not entirely a bad thing. But when you look at some of the gains that monogamous marriages come with, aka fewer children, less child support, and probably less of having to watch out for, who's cheating on who. Like, imagine if you're married to 6 women and all of them are cheating on you. Imagine having to actually check up on who's cheating on who with who. Like, that shit's gonna be a fuck ton of work. Even for people like the FBI and shit, that's gonna be a lot of work. You're gonna have to hire a bunch of private investigators as opposed to just one for a monogamous marriage. Or at least that's how I see it. So if you're the type to do it, go for it. If you're not the type to go for it, then, welcome to the club of us that value love, that value being in a relationship with one person, coming together and being one, blah, 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 all that shit, as much as we hate divorces. Anyways, that is just about it. Always put that process in that progress or prevention. If you guys want to hit me up, send some more of them questions, send some more of that feedback. It is on IG at breaktime_Westside, on Facebook at breaktime on Westside, and on Twitter you can hit me up on my personal Twitter handle at Bagaka the D. I will see you guys later.